Hi all, welcome to the 7th video in this series of complete React Material UI tutorial. With this tutorial, we are taking this application into next level. In this video, we have created our own custom confirm dialog with yes or no button. Along with that, we have created a notification message like this, deleted successfully. Along with that, after any of the correct operations insert, update or delete, we have shown this notification like this. You could see the same after insert or update operation also. See, I can't wait to build these beautiful additions into this application. In this series, we have created this application from scratch. You can find all of the links in video description. Without further ado, let's get started with the topic. So here we have the same project that we have left from our previous tutorial. As we have mentioned, in this video, we will be creating a custom confirm dialog like this for delete operation. Before that, we want to show notifications like this after correct operations like insert, update, and delete. For that, first of all, we will create a reusable component inside this components folder here called notification. First of all, we will create a functional component like this with a single parameter props. In order to create this notification component, we will be using Material UI component alert in combination with snack bar component. So it will look like this. Now back to the component here. Now first of all, let's extract required properties for this component. From the actual component, we will be passing a state object, notify object, and the corresponding set function set notify. We can retrieve them from this component props here. From this component, we can return this snack bar component from Material UI. Inside that, we can have this alert component. In order to work with alert component, we have to install its package, which is not inside the Material UI core package. We have to install this package separately, Material UI lab. Now let's install the package here. npm I for install, s for save, and here is the package Material UI lab. Hit enter. So here we successfully installed the package here. Now let's import the alert component from the package. We can import that from this package Material UI lab. Inside that we have this component alert. Before adding rest of the controls inside this component here, let's look how we can call this notification after insert and update operation inside this employees component here. So first of all, I will add the corresponding import statement up here. So here we have imported the notification component. Now let's add a tag for this component like we have done for the pop-up notification. Into this component, we have to pass the value for this state object notify and its set function set notify. So first of all, let's create the state object here and its set function set notify. Now let's initialize the object with this function. Actually, it is an object with 3 properties. First of all, we have this boolean property is open. I will reset that as false here. And the content which is to be displayed inside the notification, and we will pass that through this property message. And here is the last property type. Based on this property, we will decide which type of notification we want to display. It can have values like error, success, info, warning, etc. Based on them, we will have different background colors. Now let's pass this component state object into this component here. Notify is equal to notify and the corresponding set function set notify. Now let's customize this notification based on our state object notify. We only have to show this component when that boolean value is open is true. So we can handle that condition with this property open is equal to notify dot is open. And here is the auto hide duration. We have to specify that in milliseconds, so I will pass 1000. In effect, this notification will be shown only for 1 second. You can modify that as you wish. Now we can show the actual notification message inside the alert here. So notify dot message. In order to have different appearance based on this type property here, we can use this property from alert severity. So it can have these much values: error, info, success, and warning. Based on that, this alert will have different appearance. So we can pass the property here, severity, notify dot type. Now back to the employees component here. Here we have only added this component. So let's show this notification after insert or update operation. We have done the operation inside this function here, add or edit. So let's call this set function set notify. Inside that we can pass this object is open true. Now let's set the message here, submitted successfully. And finally we can set the type here, success. Now let me save this and back to the application here. In order to see the notification, we have to do either insert or update operation. So I will do the update operation without editing any of the information here. Let me submit this record. So here we have the notification message submitted successfully. I want to show this component in top right corner here. For that we can use this snack bar property anchor origin. It accepts an object with these properties: vertical is equal to top, then horizontal is equal to right. Now let's look whether it is working or not. So here it is. Actually this notification is shown above this app bar. In order to avoid that, we have to use some custom CSS here. So I will define this function use styles, and let's call the material UI function make styles. Inside that we have this function with single parameter theme. From that we will return this object with a single CSS rule root. Inside that we will set this top theme dot spacing function can be called. Inside that we will pass 9. Now let's call the same function here. Classes is equal to use styles function can be called here. Now let's pass the same here. Class name is equal to classes dot root. Now along with this notification, we want to show a close button also. For that we just need to add this event on close to this snack bar here. So on close, which is to be handled inside this function handle close. Now let's define the function up here. For this function we have two parameters. First of all we have the default event parameter, and inside the second parameter reason we will have the reason for triggering this event. In order to hide this snack bar, we have to reset this property is open. For that we can call this set notify function. So set notify, and let's pass the object here. We just need to reset this property is open false. We are not concerned about rest of the properties, so we can use this separator operator, and we just need to pass the notify here. We have the same event for this alert also, so I will pass the same here. Okay, now let me save this and back to the application. Let's try that again. To close this notification, we can click on this close button here. There is one more case. Let's try that again. If you click outside this notification, by default it will close the notification. If you want to prevent that from happening, you can add this if clause here. If reason is equal to click away, we don't have to reset this property is open. We will just return from this function. Now let's implement the final operation delete with the help of confirm dialog. First of all, let's wire up a function for this delete button here. So back to the component employees here. Let's add this on click event here. Inside that we will call a function on delete. Into this function we have to pass this record primary key, which is there inside this object item. So we can pass the same here, item.id. Since we have a parameter for this function call, we have to call this function in an anonymous function like this. Now let's define this function on delete up here. For this function we have a single parameter id. As you know, we have stored these employees inside the local storage. we have done all of the related operations inside this folder file employee services. For delete operation, I will paste a new function here, delete employee. It accepts a single parameter ID. Inside this function, first therefore we will retrieve all of the employees. Here we will filter all of the employee record except the ID that we have passed here. So in effect, we will delete the employee record with the ID here. And finally, we have stored the rest of the employee array into the local storage. So this is how we have done the delete operation inside local storage. Now let's call the function here. We have already imported that same file here, employee services. So let's call the function here, employee service delete employee. Into that we can pass this ID. After delete operation, we have to refresh these records inside this table. For that, we have to update this records array here. For that, we just need to call this function get all employees like we have done inside this add or edit function. So I will just copy this. It will update the array of employees. Finally, we have to show the notification like we have shown inside this add or edit function. So let me copy this and pasting here. Let's update these properties accordingly. Deleted successfully. Type will be error. This type property can have these values from this property severity. Since delete is a loss of data, we have to confirm this operation from user. For that, we have been calling this function confirm, which is a default function. Inside that, we can ask this question, are you sure to delete this record? We will do this operation only when user confirm this operation. We have to call this function from window object. Now let's check whether it is working or not. Let me delete this record here. So here we have the default confirm dialog. Are you sure to delete this record? Click on OK. So here we have deleted the corresponding record and we have seen the corresponding notification message up here. Now instead of this default confirm dialog, we have to show a beautiful confirm dialog with the help of Material UI dialog. So let's look how we can do that. I'm going to create a reusable component inside this components folder called confirm dialog. This is also a functional component with a single parameter props. In order to show this component, we'll be using Material UI dialog that we have discussed in previous tutorial. So first of all, we have to return a dialog like this. Previously, we have added dialog title and dialog content. So let's add them first. Now for this confirm dialog, we will be adding one more component called dialog actions. Now from this props parameter, let's extract required properties here. Title, subtitle, color, and this state object confirm dialog and its set function. Let's extract all of these from this props parameter here. In order to determine whether we want to show this dialog or not, we can use this property open. We have discussed the same in previous tutorial. For that, we can use the property is open from this object confirm dialog. Is open. Let's show these properties title and subtitle inside this component dialog content. Actually, we don't need this property color. The basic requirement for this component is to confirm an operation from user side. So inside this title property, we will be having a question. If there is a description for the question, that can be passed through this property subtitle. So I want to show the question inside an S6 header. So first of all, we have to have this component typography and we can set this variant as H6. And inside that, we can show this title property. Now let me copy this and pasting that below for subtitle. For typography component property variant, we can have these values here. We will be using subtitle 2 for this description here. So subtitle 2. With this confirm dialog component, we intend to present an yes or no question. So inside this dialog actions, we need to have two buttons for yes and no. in order to work with button, we have created this reusable component button. We have created this controls object with all of such form controls. So first of all, I will import this controls file here. So here we have imported controls. Now to show a button, we just need to do this controls.button. Inside the button, we want to show this text no, and the color will be default color, so it will be having a gray color. We have created this component in our form tutorial. All of the links for the videos in this series will be there in video description. You can check that. Like this, we need one more button for yes. So I will just duplicate this. Text will be yes. Color will be secondary. Now let's use this component inside this employees component here. So first of all, let's import the same here. So here we have added the corresponding import statement. Now let's add the corresponding tag inside this component. Confirm dialog. So here we have added corresponding component tag. Now into this component, we have to pass these properties values, title, subtitle, and this state object, confirm dialog, and its set function. Actually, I don't want to pass these properties separately. We have an object here, confirm dialog. We can pass these two properties inside them, like we have this property is open. So I'm going to do this confirm dialog dot title, confirm dialog dot subtitle. Let's remove these properties from here. Now let's create this state object inside this component here. Confirm dialog and its set function, set confirm dialog. Now let's initialize that by calling this use state function here. Inside that, we have to pass this object. First of all, we have to pass this property is open as false. And then we have title. I will pass empty string here. Same for subtitle also. We have to show this confirm dialog when we click on this delete icon here. So let's update the button click event. For now, I will just comment this line here for on delete function. Let's update the state object set confirm dialog. Into that, we have to pass this object. To open this confirm dialog, first of all, we have to set this property is open as true. And then we have to pass this title. Are you sure to delete this record? Inside this subtitle property here, we can pass this warning message. You can't undo this operation. Since we have a single quotes inside this message, we have to enclose them with double quotes instead of single quotes. For now, that's enough. Now let's pass this state object to this component here. Confirm dialog is equal to confirm dialog, and corresponding set function set confirm dialog is equal to set confirm dialog. Now inside the delete button here, we have set this property is open, so it should show this confirm dialog. Let's try that here. Let's click on this delete button. Boom. So here we have the confirm dialog. Here we have shown the title, and just below that we have the description. Now we have to customize this component to some extent. So back to the project. We will do the customization with CSS rules. So first of all, let's define the function here. Use styles, and let's call the function make styles here. Inside that, we have this function with theme parameter. Like we have done in previous dialog or pop-up tutorial, we have to float this component from top. For that, I will add the CSS rule dialog. Inside that, first of all, I will set the position as absolute, and from top there should be 40 pixels. So theme dot spacing of the range 5. Along with that, I want to add some padding. So padding is equal to theme dot spacing 2. So 16 pixels. Now let's call the same here. Classes is equal to use styles function can be called. Like we have done in previous tutorial, we have to apply this CSS rule with classes object. So classes is equal to an object, and we have to target this rule paper from this dialog component is equal to classes dot dialog. Now Now let's check whether it is working or not. That's it. Now I want to center everything inside dialog content. So let's add one more CSS rule here. Dialog content text align is equal to center. And also I want to center these buttons here. So I will add one more rule here. Dialog action justify content is equal to center. Now let's apply these CSS rules here. Class name is equal to classes dot dialog content. Let me copy this and pasting here for actions. Dialog action. Now it works fine. Now most importantly, we have to handle these button click events. Before that, I want to show an icon inside this dialog title. So back to the component here. I will add this Material UI component icon button. To disable ripples inside this button, I will set this property disable ripple. Inside that, I will show this icon not listed location icon. Now let's add the corresponding import statement here. To customize this icon, I will add a new CSS rule which I will paste here. Here we have the new CSS rule title icon. You could easily understand these custom styles if you have watched our first and second video in this tutorial. Now let's add this class into this icon here. Class name is equal to classes dot title icon. Now let's look whether it is working or not. Boom. Now we have to center this element like we have done these elements here. I will just create one more CSS rule. So I will just copy this and pasting here. Let's rename this as dialog or title. Now let's apply the same here. Dialog title. So that's it. When users select no here, we don't have to do anything. We just need to hide this dialog here. So I will just add the onClick event as inline here. OnClick is equal to, here we have an anonymous function. Inside that, we just need to call this set function. Inside the function, we will reset the property isOpen. IsOpen false. And rest of the properties can be accessed from confirm dialog. Now let's try that here. Click on no. That's it. Now when user click on this yes button here, we have to do some operation. In this case, we have to execute the delete operation. So first of all, from our original component employees here, inside this delete button click event, I will pass a callback function called onConfirm. Into this, I will just pass this function here on delete. Since this function has a parameter, we have to pass this in another anonymous function like this. Now inside this yes button click event, we can call that function on click. We just need to pass this confirm dialog dot on confirm. Through this parameter on confirm, we have passed the delete function here. Inside this function on delete, we will do the delete operation here. Since we have created our own confirm dialog, we can remove this default confirm from here. Inside this function, first of all, I will hide that confirm dialog. For that, we can call the corresponding set function, set confirm dialog. Inside this object, we can reset this property as false. Rest of the property will have the same value. So confirm dialog. Now let me save all of these modifications here and back to the application. Now let me try to delete this employee, so Watson. If I click no, nothing happens. If I click yes, it should delete the corresponding record. That's it. And we have shown the corresponding notification here. Boom. So that's it guys. In this video we have discussed how to implement delete operation with the help of our own confirm dialog component from Material UI. Also, we have created our own notification component. You can download this project source code from the GitHub link given below in video description. If you found this video helpful, please thumbs up this video, and for more awesome videos like this, please be subscribed to this channel CodAffection. Please like and share this video with your friends and colleagues so that they can benefit from this. Have a nice day. Bye.